Hello, BookTube. I've got a bit of a book haul for you. I'm set up out here in my it's a little room off my porch where I have a couch and a bunch of pillows and lots of books. The house is full of books, but out here is sort of a little hideaway. Not one that I use in the winter a lot, though this year I'm going to put out a little space heater and see how it goes. In the summer, I actually have a dehumidifier out here, but it was never part of the heating system of the house because it's a room on the porch. But it was originally built this way. The place is almost 200 years old now. It's a very odd room. It's not useful for much else, but we put it to use. So anyway, I'm trying to film out here. I don't think I've done this very many times out here. So the book haul went up and went to a thrift store and found a few things, not as much as I had hoped or not as much as I found last time there, but some good stuff. And then I also went to our new Barnes & Noble and picked up a magazine. So the first thing I picked up is this Everyman Anthony Trollope. It's doesn't have any of the artwork or anything like that. Just text, a bit of a blocky thing. I've been collecting the Trollope because I'm thinking about giving him a big read. So I've got a pretty decent shelf going, but this fellow wrote a lot of novels, so we will see. So that's the first one. Then the second one, I was thrilled. This book was part of a set. Love to find the set of the works of Jack London. And it is The Cruise of the Snark. This thing's from like 1917. It is just loaded with illustrations about their cruise. I have never read this. I've read little excerpts from it. And I'm really looking forward to it. I like Jack London. My son just read To Build a Fire, and we were talking about it. And, I've got some of the standard Jack London stuff around. But I was happy to find this. I'll probably stick this out here with my nautical books instead of in with my American literature. But I will be, I can put this over here. I'll be reading that really soon. So, yeah, happy to find it. This next one, I'm not walking by this book. Seeing something like this is just candy to me. And I posted on Instagram, and I think to a few other folks, too, who thought it was interesting. This is Reading the OED, 1 Man, 1 Year, 21,730 pages by Aman Shea. Now, I think I'm probably getting a little glare here. I do have curtains here. I'm trying to see if I can get that a little better. Not really. I already started reading it a little bit last night. It looked interesting. This is a Perigee book, and this came out in 2000. I thought it was like 2008 or something. I thought. Yeah, 2008. The best way to say the Oxford English Dictionary, fascinating story in itself. Simon Winchester did 2 great books on it. What were the titles of them? The Meaning of Everything, I think, and Professor and the Madman. I may be a little off on the titles. There's what the set looks like. I've got an interlibrary loan in to get out a book that I don't have the title on the top of my head, but you could find it easy enough by Googling it. It's about Tolkien, J.R.R. Tolkien in the Oxford English Dictionary. So it's something I'm interested in. A slight thing, but fun. And talk about a slight thing. I have no idea what this thing is. It's put together weird. It's not easy to figure out where it's going. It's called The Portable Paradise by Jonathan Keats. But it has, I think it's a quote in the middle of the title page there. I don't know if you can see this very well, by E.M. Forrester. It's a little teeny thing. I think it's about travel guides or travel books. So I will find out. It's Notting Hill Editions. And it's from 2011. So this guy collects historic guidebooks. Jonathan Keats' passion for collecting historic guidebooks has resulted in a beguiling work of cultural archaeology, which explores the experience of travel for the British before the First World War. Unlike Lucy Honeychurch and E.M. Forster's A Room with a View, he revels in Baedeker, Murray, and other Victorian examples, taking us on a poignant, funny, and often revealing tour through this undiscovered genre. I'm not sure it's an undiscovered genre, but I guess he's guiding us to the guidebooks. We will find out. I wasn't going to let it sit there because it looks like if it's done well, it could be really interesting. So if anybody knows about it, just drop a comment and let me know. The next one here, was thrilled to find this, and this is the nice thing about these New York Review of book copies. They put back into circulation a lot of things that I rather enjoy. And this is T.H. Wife, the Goss Hawk. T.H. White was Once and Future King is what I think of him. Sword in the Stone. The one about Merlin, he had a separate book about Merlin. So this is the Goss Hawk, and it's what is it that binds human beings to other animals? T.H. White, the author of The Once and Future King and Mistress Masham's Repose, was a young writer who found himself rifling through old handbooks of falconry. A particular sentence, "The bird reverted to a feral state," seized his imagination, and White later wrote, "A longing came to my mind that I should be able to do this myself." So very happy to have this. Once and Future King is one of those books that, obviously I'm talking about his other book, that really is worth giving a shot. I've read it a couple times, and it's a really good book. Then this next one, we're actually standing in line at the thrift store, and this one was sitting on a table, and I grabbed it, and I'm glad I did. This is a Treasury of Russian Literature, edited by B.G. Gurney. Not a very attractive thing, but I was going through it, and some of the stuff he's translated himself. It came out in 1943, so it was right during the war. It's a Pushkin and Gogol and Turgenev and Tolstoy, and it even has a poem by Akhmatova, and a few other people I don't know. And I read a little bit of the introduction last night after I got this home, and it's during World War II, so people were really interested in Russia, and this guy was taking full advantage of that guy. So we will see. Then I just got a hardback copy of a book I read recently, and I used to have a pretty good collection, and I'm thinking about doing it again. I don't know why I do this. I have some of the earlier stuff upstairs that I didn't get rid of. I unhauled a bunch of this guy's stuff. And now I'm thinking about getting them again because I just enjoy them. They're an afternoon's read. It just takes me away. And for the most part, I don't like all of them, but I like a good portion of them. And that's Clive Cussler. And this is Odessa Sea, a Dirk Pitt novel. He wrote this one with his son, Dirk Cussler. They always have this thing was a sailboat, but they always have, or not always, but a lot of times they'll have the car collection back here. End papers are nice with scenes of the action. This was a really good romping story. So it takes place in the Black Sea. I've been to Odessa, so it was sort of cool to read a little bit of this. So this one's just me thinking, I'm not going to reread it now, I just read it, but me thinking that maybe I'll start piling up the Cusslers again. That's a lot of shelves, because he writes with other folks. Well, in this case, he wrote with his son, but you'll see here in a second, he writes with other folks, and some of them are quite good. So I keep wanting to throw them down there. So the other one is I got, and I have not read, and this is an Isaac Bell as opposed to Dirk Pitt adventure. This is the Sea Wolves. No car on the back of this one, just the man himself. The Isaac Bell ones are more historic, turn of the early part of the 20th century. Bell's a detective with the Van Dorn Agency. I love these. These have really, really been solid books, adventure novels, in my opinion, and I've liked them since the beginning. So this one I'm looking forward to read. Isaac Bell I really like, and the other ones, and I didn't get one today, is the Fargos, husband and wife treasure hunting team that he has a series of adventures. And this Jack DeBrule has turned out to be a really good good writer. And then some of the other writers, they might list them here because I know that. Okay, so the let's see, the Oregon Files I'm not big on. The Sam and Remy Fargo adventures I really like. And the Robin Bursell is she writes quite a few of them with him or herself, and then Grant Blackwood and a few others. So really, really like these. These are fun, and I keep doing the same thing. And then that was all I got. Those things are like $1 a piece. And then I went to Barnes & Noble. We just got a Barnes & Noble around here recently. So happy to have it. And this time my daughter wanted to see it, and we were up in that area, so she got a pile of books. But I grabbed a magazine that I always have trouble finding around here. I can find Analog quite easily at a Books A Million we have. And then the magazine of fantasy and science fiction. But what I really like is Asimov's. And the Barnes & Noble's carried it. This one sort of looks like it might be fun. The slightly spooky issue. This is September, October 2023. Some of these writers I don't know because I'm in and out of science fiction. There was a time when I had every one of these doggone magazines going back for decades and decades. And I don't have them anymore. But, well, I have a shelf full, but nothing like what I used to have. I mean, this is what happens. We lose parts of our libraries over our lifetime. There's nothing wrong with weeding your library. In fact, it's a wonderful thing. And keeping things under control. Like, I can give you advice, right? But sometimes you're sorry you let things go. But when you're young and you're moving around a lot and all that, sometimes you just have to do what you got to do. But, yeah, I wish I had those old magazines back. They do take up a lot of space, and sometimes the paper wasn't the greatest, so they can disintegrate a bit. I should have brought some down. I'll do it sometime, go through some of the old digest-sized magazines I have. So anyway, that was a little book haul. I wonder if I can do one of these Steve pyramids. I don't do them very often anymore. Steve Donahue, who most of you know, for years has done a Steve pyramid with the books, unless, like myself, he has too many to grab. Try to make it pyramid shaped a little bit so they don't go flying. Well, not too well done. But anyhow, that would be it. So not a bad day's work. The Snark I'm really excited about. And the Goss Hawk. And and the Oxford English Dictionary one looks like fun. They all look pretty good. So I hope all is well. We've got a beautiful sunny day here. I don't think I've said that very many times this year in Vermont, but what a weird year. But anyway, I hope anybody up in Maine and the Maritimes was safe with this storm. Massachusetts, I think a little section of New Hampshire got hit. So hopefully everybody's safe and be well. Thank you, BookTube.